Hello. I'm going to play piano. I think this time I'm going to play. I never do the clavinet, but I think there's a reason behind it. I think it's a bit jarring. Kind of like a harpsichord. I'll do the CP, combo piano. And I'll turn up the reverb slightly. Today we're going to talk about matter, energy, existence, my views on spirituality in essence. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. And I essentially, people are not going to agree with me on a lot of things, and I love that. So, that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to be more comfortable with people not agreeing with us, and, we're not trying to change other people, we're not trying to change the world. Like, seriously, I should be playing. We get told as kids, or at least insinuated, that we are the ones who are supposed to change the world, that we should value the huge pursuit of trying to leave our mark, be a hero, right? We're supposed to be valiant, courageous. But the truth is, most people are not going to have a life that on the surface seems that exciting when you compare it to what we're supposed to value. But really, life is beautiful and incredible. Not because it can copy the media that we ingest. Not because it's a silhouette of something that we thought we wanted all along. But because it is purely ours to experience. It's something personal to us. It's our life. We get to live it. We get to decide. Once you understand the freedom of getting to decide how you view yourself, all of a sudden you realize that life is a very creative thing. It's a very creative endeavor because of I said this in my jazz video last time. It's all not interpretation, but it's interpretation, but you get to choose really how you interpret things for the most part if you stop and listen. But it's improvisation. You kind of just roll with the things that life gives you. Not in like the capitalist sense, where you're like, if life gives you lemons, you should like want to try to profit off of it. No, if life gives you lemons, be grateful. You have a lot more than, if life gives you rusty nails and tetanus or whatever. Like, life could give you a lot of terrible things. I think it's vastly over optimistic to assume that lemons are a bad thing. Like, if you really think about that for a second. Oh, if life gives you lemons, it could give you friggin' tuberculosis too, right? So that's what people. Oh, how can I be grateful when I have X, Y, and Z bad things happening to me? Because in other areas of your life, you don't have, other things happening. And of course, if you focus all the time on the things that you don't have, that lack, that sense of longing, the void in your life will seem larger and more over-encompassing than you could ever imagine. But that's why we are focusing animals. Not why we are focusing animals, but that's my way of fumbling through trying to tell you that we are focusing animals, and what we focus on is what we get more of. We focus on mistakes, we get more of them. I don't know why it's good for us to being humble is not being prone to mistakes all the time. It's just focusing on, oh, how terrible am I? How bad am I? I should have practiced more. I should be better. When we look at what we focus on really means a lot. When we focus on someone's beautiful performance, if we're focusing on our own lack of the capacity to do what they do, that's all we're gonna see. We're gonna see a giant void. We're not gonna see a beautiful expression of human creativity. So that's why it's much better to look for the beauty in life, look for the fun in life. How can I experience this with my whole heart in a fashion where I can gain something from it? A lot of people who have a growth mindset, so you just see opportunity everywhere to learn something, to grow, to feel inspired. Even the things that you feel disconnected or they shouldn't be the way they are or whatever. They use inspiration for whatever comes up. I could the flies that you probably see circling around me, I use them as the title for a song, Insectoid Metropolis. It's partially to do with my story, The Electric Noir. And it's partially to do with the fact that I have to live with insects all the time because I'm terrible at cleaning. But it's cool because I think maybe the dealing with the flies and all that stuff, and the larvae, was the thing that partially inspired my story, where they go into a pocket dimension and there's insectoids, as I call them. Well, that's what my friend Rob used to call. He said he had a traumatic experience. My friend Rob, who passed away after saving my life, literally through CPR. That's a whole other story. But he said that he had an experience where he was abducted by an insectoid or something, which is some kind of in the lore of that we've created about aliens. It's some kind of alien being that we've categorized and classified. But whatever, right? What I'm really getting at is the subject of intention and the universe at large. If we go to a cosmic scale, I have come to the probably false understanding that in my mind it seems that consciousness is like an energy force, but we don't have much of a way of being able to like measure it to some degree, because we're not able to use certain equipment or whatever to be able to measure it. I mean, we do essentially. We can see the activity in the brain, but not the conscious experience, or like be able to find a calculation for it so that we can replicate it over and over and over again, like computer code or something, right? Maybe that's a really fucking good thing, though, if you think about it. Like, humans, first of all, shouldn't be trusted with nuclear weapons, but the just travesty that they could wreak. I mean, the havoc, the absolute abysmal levels of despair they could create throughout the cosmos, because they have the ability to create consciousness and use it for their own profits. That's a scary idea, because you never know, you might be caught into that cycle where they create the exact imprint of your consciousness within the framework of some machine or some tool in the future, and they use you in a very their idea that you as a consciousness really want to have some kind of a fulfilling purpose in life or something, or maybe they'll calculate around that or something, or it's like when I was reading about Doom, the video game. It's really kind of disturbing to think of human souls being tormented in a different dimension in order to produce the Argent energy that they're trying to harness in order to solve Earth's economic problems. And that is fundamentally disturbing in just a way that is cosmic and unending. And most people don't think about that. They think like, oh, how can I get a combo? How can I, get the high score? They don't look back into the lore and think like, oh, that's messed up. How can people think of that and then like produce that into the world? And like, is it something we truly really have to think about? Maybe, maybe not. We don't need that manifested into the world for some reason. It's kind of like, what I'm getting at as far as intention is, I think that the universe is intention. I think Devin Townsend would agree with me that the universe is intention, and it's the intention of sustaining itself, and that intention it literally has to exist in order for the universe to exist. If there is going to be any form of life in this vast expanse, this endless, infinite, vast expanse, if there's going to be anything, it literally has to have consciousness to perform tasks. And that's why I think that a lot of like bugs and what we consider as lesser beings, lesser consciousness, are really not. Like, they have the same essential conscious experience to some extent as we do in some respects. But I think that if something is awake and can perceive pain and, I mean, a lot of the time, something like my cat is capable of, expressing emotion, expressing more complex things psychologically, but I still think that we are in the weeds, we are in the forest, we are not in any respect like as enlightened as we may want to hope we are. Like, we think, oh, scientists must, all the smart people must know a lot of things about existence or whatever. They must have some idea. So I can piggyback off of other people's brilliance when they need to know whether or not we have things figured out. It turns out we really don't. We have like an extremely minute amount of it. Maybe so small it would be imperceivable understanding of what this world really is. For instance, like, not understanding what's in the ocean, that's kind of crazy. It's literally right there. Or no, over there. But, yeah, anyways. It's there, and it's not like it's like Andromeda Galaxy. We can actually get to it, kind of. But it's very big, very large. And, it can't really swim down to the bottom of the ocean very easily. It's not ADHD friendly, that's for sure. Maybe that's the wrong thing to use. I don't know, anyways. I think personally, I'm coming on to the idea where I'm just like, consciousness itself, is that if consciousness is a fundamental energy source in the universe, like it is like an imperceivable, almost like if we were able to perceive ultraviolet light, if we were able to perceive consciousness in any other way other than itself, literally directly experiencing the universe, then we probably understand that it's a fundamental property of the universe, that the universe has to have it in order for it to exist. And I actually think that the force of consciousness, it kind of like a magnetic field creates patterns with metals and certain things. I think that consciousness around matter and it being, really one and the same thing, to some extent, is, it's like the beings that that inhabit this planet or whatever, or inhabit other planets or solar systems, are kind of like just a magnetic pattern that this planet creates, that the consciousness is the force that creates the patterns, or that aligns everything into the patterns, and the matter is just the kind of the host of the. It's like we are multi-cell beings. Like, we're not just one Jared, right? It's I'm a collection and a unison of a lot of pieces of bacteria and living beings coming together to make a community. I'm like my own planet of a collective of beings, right? And people don't understand this really, truly, or maybe they do. Maybe I should give people more credit. But it's like we're not just one thing, and people, yeah, it's so. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than that. It's kind of a cool understanding because maybe just the difference between us describing something as being a deity or a multidimensional being or whatever, a creator force, it's just the language itself is what we can't agree on. The language is not accurate to, in a finite way, within the confines of language. Do you know what I mean? A lot of things are just kind of a fundamental misunderstanding because we speak different in different ways, and our implied meaning is not carried across because of our adherence to defining certain things. Even the same word 2 towns over is going to be, completely felt differently. Like I have my uncle. He says, like, I don't know why he insists on saying this, but he says, "Oh, creepy" all the time. Sorry, you know who you are. But it's just something that I noticed. I'm like, that's like my idea of that word in the context that it should be used in. It's totally different from his. And that's interesting. And me trying to understand his intention behind it and the way he's using it without, in general, really, but without, communicating with him, it's never going to go anywhere. So we have to wonder, the more rules that we apply to language, the more rules that we come up with to how we're supposed to speak to each other, how, speak with your heart, speak with your heart, speak with your intention. It doesn't matter if you're speaking perfectly, if you got the right words, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. No one cares. Speak with your heart, speak with your passion. If you want to help the world, if you want to be that force to the fullest extent, if you want to be a vessel for the universal force of, like, I know it's new agey, but like maybe it's, if you want to call it God, if you want to say, I want to be the most connected to God so that I can be a vessel that can most efficiently enact the will of God on planet Earth, right? That's a good thing. Like, intend, and I think that comes with acceptance. I think that comes with accepting our flaws and moving past them. Because we are essentially the vessels of consciousness, of God, I guess, if you want to call it that way. I'm trying to bridge the gap between my crazy spiritual ass and, sorry for the swearing, and, maybe perhaps people that I haven't given enough credit to, right? Christians, mostly. I don't know, it's maybe we can't really ever truly get along because I'm not using the right words, but maybe we already are. I'd like that. I'd like to just get along, because at least then we could just live out our lives and be who we wanted to be, right? We're not trying to, it doesn't matter that, like, we're not trying to control each other, right? I think it's great. It's sad that, maybe you think people are heading to oblivion if you don't intervene, but maybe that's just the way it was supposed to be. Acceptance, I think radical acceptance is like life-changing. That's faith, in my opinion. Radical acceptance is faith. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. You can absolutely call me out on that. Absolutely call me out on that. But I think it's something like Jesus take the wheel. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to like cut out other religions either when I talk about this, but like, yeah. Anyways, I hope you don't think lesser of me by expressing myself in such a vulnerable capacity. I've been wrong about a lot of things. I think that I have essentially been rude to many people. I've been absolutely dog shit sometimes. Sorry about the swearing. But I'm working on it. And the more I could be a vessel to better enact the will of God, or I mean, in my position, it doesn't really matter what you say. If I didn't have language, the intention behind it all would be really the point, right? Because you can have an intention of evil, and even if you didn't have language to describe it, doing good and doing evil without words, right? Without logos, without dictation. You still end up being a decent person to be around, right? And that's what I want to be. I just, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't have it all figured out. Well, I definitely don't have any of it figured out, but I'm willing to collaborate. I'm willing to just be someone that wants to be that conduit, that if it's God, if it's universal love, if it's the efficiency of the universe, understanding that positivity, gratitude, all of that stuff is something that helps everyone grow, right? It helps the universe maintain itself, sustain itself. Anything else will, and that's the thing. Like, people think, oh, well, the universe will end. The universe won't end. Maybe Earth might end to some degree, but it's not going to end forever. It's going to essentially, like, life, it will repeat over and over and over again, in my opinion. But maybe it's just patterns, right? Maybe it's the feng shui, or I don't know, man. It's cool. It's a groovy thing to just kind of talk about this stuff without really needing to be right about any of it. Yeah, acceptance. Accept that I'm an idiot. Accept that I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. Accept that, I'm sorry, I swear. But, whatever. It doesn't need any of this. Yeah, stay frosty. Maybe that's all it needs. Maybe it needs a catchphrase and a gimmick. Maybe that's what it needs. I'm gonna turn this whole thing.